It was just another cold night in Los Angeles. People rushed past, lost in their own worlds, no one paying attention to the elderly woman sitting on the sidewalk. Her eyes held a quiet desperation, her hands trembling as she clutched a small cardboard sign. Most walked by without a second glance. But not him. Keanu Reeves stopped. He knelt down, looked her in the eye, and said 6 words that would change everything. "Are you hungry? Let's fix that." What happened next was more than just an act of kindness. It was a moment that would change a life forever. But how? And why did Keanu go far beyond just buying a meal? Stay with us, because this story will leave you speechless. A cold night in Los Angeles. The streets were alive with rushing footsteps and flickering lights. But in the middle of it all, a woman sat alone on the sidewalk, ignored, invisible to the world. Until one man stopped. Keanu Reeves. He didn't hesitate. Something about her made him pause. And in that moment, everything changed. She looked to be in her 50s or 60s, her worn and weathered face telling a story of hardships. She wore an old, tattered coat, and next to her was a small backpack and a cardboard sign that read, "Just looking for a hot meal and some hope. Please help." Keanu noticed how people passed by without even a glance. He felt a pang of sadness in his chest. He stopped and walked toward her. As he approached, he crouched down gently. "Hello?" he said softly. "What's your name?" The woman looked up, startled, but moved by his kind tone. "My name is Margaret," she replied quietly. "Margaret, aren't you cold sitting out here like this?" Keanu asked with genuine concern. Margaret managed a faint smile, though her eyes reflected a deep sadness. "You get used to it," she answered. "But tonight it's really cold." Keanu paused, thinking about what he could do to help her. "Margaret, stay right here," he said. "I'll be back soon." Margaret nodded, though she didn't quite understand what he planned to do. When Keanu returned, he wanted to learn more about Margaret's story. He sat down beside her and asked gently, "Margaret, I'm curious. Why are you out here on the streets? What brought you here? Don't you have anyone, family or friends, who can support you?" Margaret took a deep breath, her eyes welling with tears. "I wasn't always alone," she began. "I had a family, a job, even a small house. But life has a way of turning everything upside down when you least expect it. My husband and I were happy, but then he got sick. Cancer. We sold everything we had, even our house, to pay for his treatment. But no matter what I did, it wasn't enough. I lost him." Keanu listened in silence, his eyes reflecting deep sympathy. "I'm so sorry, Margaret. Truly I am. What happened after that?" he asked. Margaret shook her head gently. "After that, I tried to find work, but I was getting older, and no one wanted to hire me. I had friends, but no one can support you forever. I managed for a while, but eventually, I ended up here, on the streets. And now, it's just me." Hearing her story, Keanu became even more determined to help. That night, he arranged for Margaret to have a safe place to sleep. He found a nearby hotel and booked her a room for the night. When he told Margaret, her face showed a mix of shock and gratitude that words couldn't capture. "You'll have a warm bed tonight," Keanu said with a reassuring smile. "And tomorrow morning, let's have breakfast together. We'll figure out how I can help you." Margaret's tears began to flow as she whispered, "Are you an angel?" Keanu smiled softly. "No," he said. "Just someone who happened to be in the right place at the right time." The next morning, Keanu and Margaret met for breakfast. Over coffee and a warm meal, Margaret shared more of her life story. She talked about the challenges she faced, the jobs she once had, and the health issues that left her unable to work. Keanu listened intently, offering her his full attention. He knew he needed to do more than just provide temporary relief. Keanu contacted a local shelter and a community organization to ensure Margaret had ongoing support. But he didn't stop there. He wanted to help her regain her confidence and rebuild her life. Keanu reached out to a hotel owner he knew and arranged for Margaret to have a job. When he told her about it, her reaction was priceless. "This is a new beginning," Keanu said. "They'll train you, work with you, and help you stand on your own feet. This is just the first step, Margaret. But I know you'll take it and make the most of it." Within a week, Margaret moved into a safe space and started her new job. Every morning she woke up early, ready to face the day, with a sense of purpose she hadn't felt in years. Thanks to Keanu's support, she didn't just find a new home and job, she also regained the self-confidence she thought she had lost forever. Margaret's life had changed, and Keanu, in his usual modest way, never sought recognition for what he had done. Margaret often reflected on that fateful evening and how one person's small act of kindness had created a ripple effect that transformed her world. Keanu stayed in touch with Margaret over the following weeks, checking in on her progress and offering encouragement. One day, Margaret surprised him with a small gift, her first purchase with her own paycheck. "This is for you," she said, handing him a neatly wrapped package. Inside was a handmade keychain and a thank you card. The card read, "You gave me a second chance at life. This keychain represents the key to my new beginning." "Thank you," Keanu smiled, his eyes glistening with emotion as he accepted the gift. Margaret's story became an inspiration to many. At her new job, she made it a point to help others who were struggling, offering them the same kindness and support she had received. She often shared her journey, reminding others that even in the darkest moments, there is hope. Keanu, reflecting on the experience, saw it as a turning point in his own life as well. It all starts with someone reaching out, he thought. And this story, while about one woman's transformation, reminded us all of the potential for kindness to ripple through a community and create lasting change. Months later, Margaret's life continued to improve. She had built new friendships, gained respect at her workplace, and even started saving for the future. Keanu occasionally visited her, always greeted with a warm smile and updates about her progress. One day, during one of these visits, Margaret said, "You didn't just help me, Keanu. You reminded me that I still matter, that I can still make a difference." Keanu left that day with a renewed sense of purpose, knowing that his small gesture had blossomed into something far greater. Margaret's story was a testament to the fact that kindness, no matter how simple, has the power to change lives. And in doing so, it changes the world, one act at a time. Weeks later, Margaret's workplace held a small celebration for her. Her colleagues and manager praised her dedication and the positive energy she brought to the team. During the event, Margaret stood up to say a few words. With a trembling voice, she said, "I want to thank everyone here for welcoming me and giving me a chance. But most of all, I want to thank the person who believed in me when I had stopped believing in myself." She paused, her eyes scanning the room until they landed on Keanu, who had quietly joined the celebration to support her. "Keanu, your kindness saved me. It gave me hope when I had none. Thank you for everything." The room erupted into applause as Keanu nodded humbly, his face slightly flushed. For him, the joy wasn't in the recognition, but in seeing Margaret's transformation. After the event, Margaret approached Keanu with a beaming smile. "I'm even thinking of volunteering at the shelter that helped me," she said. "I want to give back." just like you gave to me." Keanu encouraged her, knowing that her story could inspire countless others. And so, Margaret's journey came full circle, from receiving help to offering it to those in need. Her life, once filled with despair, was now a beacon of hope, all thanks to one moment of kindness. Keanu often reflected on this experience, realizing that even the smallest actions can create waves of change. Sometimes, all it takes is a little compassion to remind someone of their worth, he thought. And with that, he continued to live his life quietly but profoundly, always ready to make a difference when it mattered most.